Loves here. I'm wearing a hat. Today we're going to be talking about the inverse square law. It's a very, very important principle in acoustics and also in live sound. And as we are critical listeners, simply stated, it operates on the principle of a free field. So that is a field in which sound goes past you once, just direct sound. That's all it hits you, and it goes on forever, never coming back. You just hear it once. And so in this free field, the inverse square law states that when you have a sound source, every time you double the distance from that sound source, you will lose 6 decibels. Now, if you think about this for live sound, they're trying to get, sound to audience members X, and they want a decent signal. So they know that, if we can get, 85 decibels to audience members that are 30 feet away, that means that, 79 audience members that are 60 feet away will be receiving 79 decibels. Now, of course, it gets more complicated than that because we have this whole frequencies being absorbed in the air and just other issues involved. But we have this thing called the inverse square law that helps us do things like that. So this is just important for you as a critical listener to know that when you are in a room, you will be subject to this. Now, in a room, it's not a free field, and neither is outdoors. We have reflections. We have things are being absorbed. Frequencies are being absorbed. So we have all this stuff going on. It's diffracting. It's transmitting. Just all this stuff. So we need to be aware that all these things are affecting us, but that we're standing in a room. So that's basically why when you're standing in a room, now granted, we're tossing standing waves out of this equation for now, that the volume level will vary based on where you're standing. If you're in like an ideal acoustic room, it would be based on the reflections and then how far away you were. And that would influence where you would put a microphone. So you'd be like, if I put it in a corner, I know there's going to be a lot more reflections because there's more surfaces right there. So it'll be more bouncing around up there in the corner. I mean, simply put. So I don't want to do that, but I want to take advantage of this free field thing. And that's also why when you put a ambient mic up, it doesn't matter really if it's like 40 feet away. That means that for you to lose 6 decibels, if you wanted to capture like that much more of the room, I suppose, and you weren't going for reflections like room tone, I guess. I don't know. Maybe you want some weird thing. You would have to go from 40 feet away to 80 feet away to lose 6 decibels. So you can stick it really anywhere in that range and get a pretty okay signal. So it's all about like the idea of generally you're trying to capture reflections in an interesting way when you're doing something like that. But that is the inverse square law. As a listener, you just want to be aware of that. So when you move your head back and forth and you're doing things while you're mixing, you could be altering these proportions because if you're sitting really close to your speaker, so you want to be sitting, a distance away so that these smaller head movements don't affect your mixing position too badly, because they're going to affect it somewhat. And that's why that's why speakers are in like soffits in the walls, and they can turn them up quite loud so that it's not really an issue. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Subscribe and have a blessed day.
So people is laughter natural, or because you can get tickled and you don't have to